Hi everyone and welcome once again to Ruby's Classic Cooking. And today I'm making an old 1970s classic favorite that people don't make anymore. It's called Miracle Whip Chocolate Cake. Now you can use whatever kind of salad dressing you like to use. And you're going to look at this recipe and you're going to go, that sounds absolutely crazy to me, using salad dressing in a chocolate cake. But you know what? It works. And it's the most delicious chocolate cake. In fact, when people used to take this cake to parties, everyone would be saying, oh, I need the recipe for that cake. That's how good it is. Anyway, it's so simple and easy. There's not a lot of ingredients. You mix it up by hand in a bowl and you bake it in a tube pan, my bunt pan. Now, it says in the recipe to mix it up in a 9-inch tube pan. Now, this one is 9 3/4 by 3.3 inches, or 24.8 centimeters, which you may as well call 25 centimeters by 8.5 centimeters. So that's what size is, but it's a bit big for the recipe, but you know what? It will hold the cake nicely and it will turn out to be a really good cake when it's done, because I've baked it in this pan before. So use whatever tube pan you have. Now, let's dive right into this recipe and get on with it. And you can go, ew, Ruby, gross, that looks so ick. Like so 1970s, ew, how is that possibly edible? But if you look at the chemistry, salad dressing has eggs, it has oil, and it has liquid. So you don't need to add eggs or milk or anything like that to this recipe. So let's start out here. In my bowl I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. That's all-purpose in Canada, so that would be bread flour in the United States, or it would be called strong flour in the UK. Now to that, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Now cocoa powder, not hot chocolate mix, is what you want here. So get your cocoa powder out, which has no sugar added. If it's got sugar added, that's not the right thing to use. So that's 1. And I'm going to sift it because this stuff always has lumps in it. 2, 3, 4. And a little bit more because some of those were actually real accurate tablespoons. So, just kind of sift this in because you're combining these. Now you need 2 bowls. What you need is 2 bowls. You need your wooden spoon and your bowl scraper. And that's all you need for equipment. Really simple and easy to do. Now I'm just going to beat this through my strainer. You also need some sort of a strainer or a sieve like this. There we go. That goes through there. It's all the lumps out of your cocoa powder, and it's a lot easier to combine, trust me. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Baking soda, not baking powder, okay? So 2 teaspoons. And when I put this in here, I just kind of wipe it on the top of the box here so I have a nice level one. And since I got my sifter in place, I'm just going to sift that. Here we go. 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And a pinch of salt. So I'm just going to put a little sprinkle of salt in here. Not anything really. Not even 1/8 of a teaspoon. So, in that goes. Just go that in there. There we go. I have all my dry ingredients in here, and I'm just going to mix them up with my spoon here to combine them, so that you have all of your dry ingredients in here all combined. So it looks more or less homogeneous, like your cocoa is all mixed into your flour, which will also make your baking soda and your salt mix in through here too. Alright, try and make sure there's no pockets in here of cocoa powder or flour or whatever that's not combined. Okay, I'm just going to make a little well in the middle of that for now. And now I'm going to take my smaller bowl and I'm going to add my other ingredients, which are 3/4 of a cup of salad dressing. Now I'm using Miracle Whip today, but you can use whatever kind of mayonnaise you like to use. So I'm just going to blob that in there. And you're going to go, oh Ruby, this is going to be disgusting. This isn't going to be fit to eat. You're wrong. It will be delicious. 1 cup of cold water goes into there. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I can reuse the teaspoon I used for my soda because it's still dry. There we go. In that goes. Now that is all of my liquid ingredients added together. And you know what? I messed up already because my dry ingredients, you know what I forgot? 1 cup of sugar to add to my dry ingredients, but that's not a disaster. There you go. In it goes. And I'll just stir my sugar in here. Sorry about that. That should have gone in with the others. That's a good thing about having your ingredients out pre-measured, because then if you forget something, you look around and go, oh wait, that sugar's supposed to go in here somewhere. Okay, and there we go. Sugar all integrated. And now I'm going to grease my pan. I'll be baking this all in my preheated 350 degree oven. And I think that's 173 Celsius, but don't worry, I'll have all the metric equivalents for this recipe down below in the description file down below when I put this up. A little bit of oil in here to grease my pan with. Just a teaspoon or so of oil. And I'm using olive oil today, but you can use whatever kind of vegetable oil you have. Now, just grease all the surface of your pan in here. And the bunt pan is a bit more difficult to do than an angel food cake pan or a tube pan. Anyway, I've made this in a 10-inch tube pan that does a really nice job. And then it takes 50 minutes in your oven, your preheated 350 degree oven. And I will be keeping an eye on that when I take it out and I test it. If it's not done, I'll put it in for another 10 minutes, which would make it an hour in the oven. But, you know, usually just takes the 50 minutes to cook. I'm just going to mix my salad dressing and my Miracle Whip, my vanilla and my water together here so that they're stirred together. Really lovely looking, kind of thin, milky, gross looking mixture. When you're doing this, you're going to go, oh come on Ruby, this time you're messing up, because it's not going to be fit to eat unless you've had cake like this before, in which case you're going to go, oh, I lost that recipe 10 years ago. Thank you for putting this back up. Just believe me, this makes the easiest, nicest chocolate cake you're ever going to make. Okay, so now this is going in here. And just a few. This is simpler. This is just as simple and easy to make as a cake mix. And I'm just going to stir this together, just like that. Get my batter combined. Make sure there's no dry flour. You just want to mix this up until it's combined. You don't want any dry flour hanging around or anything that doesn't look like it's all well combined. Okay. There you go. That's what my finished batter looks like. Look at that. It kind of blobs up like that. There you go. Now, I'm just going to put this. See how quickly that mixed up? Hardly anything to it. There we go. And now into my batter, my pan. This goes. Carefully not to get any, inside the post in the middle. And it's not going to look like much batter in the bottom of your pan, but it does rise up. I'm going to scrape my spoon off here. Now I'm just going to scrape out my bowl. This is important because I'll be leaving half of my cake behind in the bowl. Missed a bit. Missed a little bit there to get that mixed in. Make sure you get all that Miracle Whip mixed into your batter. And I'm taking this cake to a potluck tomorrow, so you know how confident I am in that it's a good cake. And tomorrow, if at my meeting tomorrow, if anybody at the potluck asks me for the recipe, I'll say, coming soon to a YouTube video near you. To my YouTube channel. And there's my batter in my pan. It doesn't really, it's only about a third of the way full. It won't come all the way up to the top of my pan. And I'm just going to wipe off any little extra bits. Well, that's all there is to that, and I'll be back in 50 minutes to show you the finished cake. So until then, I'll see you in a few minutes. Hi everybody, and it's been 50 minutes with my cake in the oven, And my cake is now cooked, and I'll show you that. There you go. And I'll show you, here's my cake tester. I'm going to show you how to test that. You just poke that like that, and it comes out clean. No batter sticking to it, which means my cake is done. Now, I've got this, this is really a non-stick pan, so I'm using a plastic little tool here to scrape around the edge, because you want to loosen your cake all the way around the edge, which in a bunt pan is a little more difficult to do than in a straight-sided angel food cake pan. But anyway, this is what I have, so this is what I'm working with. And I think after this is cooled off, tonight or tomorrow morning, I'm going to be icing this with a nice chocolate buttercream icing. So you make this, you can ice it with your own favorite. You could probably even get away with icing this with chocolate chips. You just take your chocolate chips or your chocolate morsels while the cake is still hot from the oven, and you just sprinkle them all over the top and give them a few minutes to melt. Then you just take a spatula or a knife and you spread them around, and it makes really gorgeous looking icing. Especially on a pan of brownies or something, it's really simple, it's really super simple icing. Anyway, and here we go. Now, let's get this cake out of the pan, and hopefully it all goes well. You can see that it's a little bit loose around the edges. Now let's just go with the 1, 2, 3 here. Keep your fingers crossed. There we go. One lovely chocolate cake. Well, I hope you enjoyed my recipe today, and that you will like, subscribe, comment, and try this recipe out at home. See what your family has to say about it and your friends. So, I hope you enjoyed watching me today, and I hope you'll come and watch next time and see what I'm cooking next time on Ruby's Classic Cooking. Bye for now. And I almost forgot to do a shout out to my grandson. And I hope you've been watching my videos, and next time you're here at Grammy and Grampy's place, we'll bake some of this chocolate cake if you like, so we can give it a try and you can see what it's like. Or maybe Daddy and Mommy and you could bake one at home. I hope you enjoyed watching this today, and I really love you. I want to see you again as soon as I can. Love you. Bye from Grammy and Grampy. Bye-bye.